These train journeys are among the most epic and hardcore on the planet.
There's like ice picks stabbing at my stomach wall.
Taking people through the world's harshest environments.
No train has ever gone further north than this one right here.
Overcoming huge technical challenges.
But thank God the train's here. I don't know how you do this without it.
These trains are a vital link to remote communities.
People live along the tracks, so this is their only means home.
Sustaining a region's economy.
I've never seen so many cucumbers in one place in my life.
And even changing the course of history.
It's because of this line that the country feels united.
These are the world's tough trains.
I'm on an epic train journey across one of the world's biggest railway networks. Built in the 19th century by the British to move troops and raw materials across the land, their trains ultimately played a role in the independence of this country a century later. Their tracks are some of the longest and oldest anywhere on the planet. Train travel doesn't get much tougher than this. These are India's tough trains.
India is the world's 7th largest country with a population of over 1.2 billion. It's also the world's biggest democracy. It's famous for its commercial and cultural wealth, being a region of historic trade routes and vast empires.
India is famous for its British-built railway system, but riding on the trains here is anything but British.
On Indian trains, a ticket doesn't necessarily guarantee a seat. Giving up your seat for the elderly would be great if you actually had one. And safety becomes a major concern when the only part of you inside the moving train is your hand.
Trains and train stations here are completely overcrowded even by Indian standards, and in monsoon season, temperatures can reach up to 50 degrees Celsius. It is hot. A staggering 18 million people ride the train here in India every day on more than 9,000 scheduled services.
The Indian Railways network is the 4th largest in the world, after the US, China, and Russia. The British first introduced railways to India in 1858 with the purpose of expanding control over the country. After independence in 1947, the railways became an Indian state-owned enterprise.
In my journey across India, I traced the independence struggle that created the world's largest democracy and the role the railways played in it.
My train journey begins in the town of Muzaffarpur in Bihar, where I take a local train to Motihari to discover Gandhi's first anti-colonial campaign. I then head to Lucknow to celebrate Ramadan with local Muslims. From there, I head to Delhi to explore India's past under British rule. My journey continues to Amritsar on a train route that once saw thousands massacred during India's partition. Finally, I escape the Indian heat and head to the Himalayas, traveling from Kangra to Jogindernagar. I begin my journey in the town of Muzaffarpur in Bihar, which is in the eastern region of India. Bihar is the 12th largest state in India and the 3rd largest in population.
The state of Bihar has over 100 million people in its population. Ever wanted to know what that looks like? Right here. 85% of these guys live in villages, and of them, 60% are under the age of 25, which is the highest anywhere in India. How do I get through here?
With widespread and inescapable poverty, corrupt politicians, and a caste-ridden social order that has retained traces of feudal cruelties, Bihar used to be a byword for the worst of India. However, things are changing now, and Bihar has one of the highest growth rates in the country.
Thank you very much. All right, have a good day.
I've come to the town's only railway station to catch a local train to Motihari. The station is amongst the top 100 booking stations of Indian Railways.
Wow. There are a lot of people here. Woo. This is a local train to Motihari, and they don't pre-sell the tickets, so My guess is that we're all going for the same train. I hope there's room for everybody. Over an hour to get to here. I have half an hour left before the train leaves. Not looking too hopeful. Wait, don't push, don't push. Stop pushing, man. Stop pushing, stop pushing. Okay. I need one for Motihari. No, I've been in line for an hour and a half. Yeah. No, not two. It's me. It's one. But line two. Oh my God. I was waiting in the wrong line. I waited an hour and a half in the wrong line. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you guys. I'm sorry. Whew, okay, I got my ticket, and I do not understand. Where's the Motihari platform? This one? This one? Okay. Thank you very much. Ooh, soaking. Motihari platform? Motihari? This one here. Okay. You going to Motihari? Motihari? No, I can't. I'm not going to fit in there. There's no way. Where's the Motihari train?
Yes, actually Motihari is from there.
The city's that way. Where's the platform?
Change the other train. Go to Incar and then
okay, wait
Incar
over
is
there.
there. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Oh my God. I don't know what's going on. Where I'm supposed to go. Oh, so confusing. I haven't even left yet and I already feel like I'm on a tough journey. This is the right platform, I'm told. I wish you a happy journey. Because I've spent all this time waiting in line, running to different platforms, and still, where's the train? Super late. Oh, now I have to pee. I'm hot and I have to pee, and I gotta find a toilet now. Well, this is certainly a first. I guess it beats just being open about it. It's kind of semi-private. Here's a sink.
It's well over 3 hours late, and there's no sign of the train arriving. When it finally does arrive, it's on a totally different platform from where I was told.
Excuse me, do you speak English? Is this Motihari train?
Yes, this train will go to Motihari.
Why don't they put like signs up somewhere, like chart something?
I think there must be a chart somewhere, but you need to hear the announcements. Like that's important here.
Okay, all right, cool. Well, thank you very much. What a system, huh? You guys?
I finally make it onto my first train journey from Muzaffarpur to Motihari. Let the train journeys begin. Train travel is one of the cheapest options for the majority of the population, as they make their journeys to some of India's bustling cities for work and pleasure.
It is summertime, so people are traveling. A lot of these guys are probably migrant workers, but a lot of others are just on holiday. Temperatures can get up to 50 degrees Celsius. That is scorching. But at least I'm not standing. That was quite an effort to get onto this train. It's so chaotic. And these trains, they may be hard. The people to deal with that, just a daily routine for them. That is really where the toughness is. I really feel for them actually. Look at them, they're exhausted. They're sleeping whenever they can. I'm standing because it's easier on my neck and my back. No seats, huh? Is it always this tough?
Sometimes very crowded, very hot, too late.
This is exactly my experience. It's hot,
Sometimes-
it's overcrowded, no seats, and it's very late.
Yes. Sometimes 2 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours late.
Oh my gosh. 5 hours you sit
Yes.
at the platform. The train's just stopped, and it looks like more people are getting on than getting off, which could make it pretty interesting. My spot's been lost to some bags already. Look, they're waking this guy up. Look, they're telling him, look, you're wasting seats at prime seats. Prime seats. Pani, yes, I need a pani. Oh, that's water. Pani wala is the seller of water. How much? 20, okay, cool. This is a very good tip. Bring bottled water. You don't want to be caught drinking the water around here. And it's very, very hot. You down these things in one go. It's so hot.
Another great thing about Indian trains is that food vendors will hop on and off stations, catering to the needs of the hungry traveler.
Wow, I'm trying to figure out how much that is. That's not even 5 cents. Awesome. Cucumber brought to you on the train like this. These are the great toilets of the train. They also have Western toilets, so there are 2 types. But even though my first reaction was, oh no, they don't have the Western toilets, these are actually more sanitary on the trains because people tend to get it in, whereas the Western ones, they miss. I don't know what the deal is, but the rocking of a train, or if it's just they don't care, they don't know better, they don't know how. This is the way to go. Simple, cleaner.
Bihar has a diverse climate with hot summers and cold winters. It's mainly a large stretch of very fertile flat land, which is excellent for agriculture. Bihar is entirely landlocked, with several rivers flowing through north to south to merge with the Ganges River. These rivers, along with floods, bring fertile soil to the region. In recent years since the independence, Bihar has lagged behind other Indian states in terms of social and economic development. However, during the colonial era, the fertile land, water, and skilled labor of Bihar attracted foreign imperialists such as the Dutch and the British, who took full advantage of these resources.
Wow. Tell you what, that was tough, but the people were so accommodating, and that makes a huge difference. Anytime you're in a less wealthy place, they always like, oh, here, whatever we have is yours, and that made it very enjoyable.
In 1866, the area of Champran was made into a district in Bihar, with Motihari as its headquarters. During the British era, Motihari flourished when the farmers were forced to sow indigo for textiles on their farm plots. As trade routes began to open up throughout India, Motihari Railway Station became an important site for the transportation of indigo dye.
In the struggle for independence, Motihari became the first place where Mahatma Gandhi began his anti-colonial campaign in India in 1917.
In fact, when Gandhi arrived to Motihari by train, he had just returned from South Africa.
Gandhi Memorial?
It was on a train in apartheid South Africa that a white conductor threw him off a white-only carriage. That was Gandhi's first anti-imperial awakening. The foundation stone of this Gandhi Memorial Pillar was laid on the 10th of June 1972 to commemorate the memory of Mahatma Gandhi, who fought against the atrocities of the British indigo planters against poor peasant farmers of Motihari. I meet up with historian Deba Priya Mukherjee to find out more about Gandhi's role.
In 19th century, British was ruling India. By that time, they have developed many industries, textile industries at Manchester and whole of the Europe. For that textile industry, they need indigo. And they found that this area is perfect for the indigo cultivation. They then force farmers of this area to cultivate at least 20% of their land for indigo plantation.
The farmers faced hardship as indigo cultivation was extremely time-consuming and very expensive. In return, the British gave the farmers very little remuneration for their hard work. Gandhi had just returned from South Africa, where he had gained a reputation for fighting racism. Gandhi was approached by the farming leaders to come to Motihari. When he arrived by train, thousands of farmers greeted him. The British rulers opposed Gandhi's presence and immediately gave him a notice to leave on the next available train. Gandhi defied the order and appeared in court with a statement that he refused to leave Bihar until his purpose of coming to help the Bihar farmers' plight was accomplished.
The mounting pressure of farmers and all the citizens of this area, the court has to take it in a positive way, and they allowed Gandhi to stay in this district, and he took all the statement from the farmers and he submitted to the government, and government then sympathetically considered it, and then this cultivation of indigo was stopped by the British government. It was the first successful story of non-violence movement of Gandhi.
In Gandhi's efforts to strive for independence, he was known to travel the entire country by train, and he always traveled third class. As a result, the lowest, meanest, toughest, least comfortable compartments are still known to old-timers as Gandhi class.
I continue my train journey from Motihari to Lucknow in Uttar Pradesh, where I'm joining Indian Muslims in the holy month of Ramadan.
I was hoping I'd get a seat, and that is completely out of the question. This is the most packed I've ever seen a carriage. I'm lucky to even be standing here. Look at the standing room only. Got these guys here, these girls down here. I mean, my arm is my shelf for my bag. You see how that works?
Oh man, this is, there's absolutely no room. It's almost unreal. They're just everywhere. Ceilings, packed. Excuse me, guys. This bag doesn't help. There's no room for the bag. Oh man. This gonna be. I got a water guy this side of me, and I got a chip guy this side of me. How is anybody gonna get through? What do we do? What do we do? It's the battle of the vendors as they find a way to make it happen. Incredible. Found a seat. Well, part of one butt cheeks on anyway. That's good. That's actually good around here.
The Indian railways were not built by the British to help the Indian people get around, rather to facilitate the quick movement of British troops and for the efficient movement of raw materials to expand the economy of the empire. The British introduced the railways to India just 1 year after the Great Mutiny of 1857, but Gandhi used the same railways to unite India together in his anti-colonial campaign.
There's an interesting dichotomy going on because the railway is aware of the increasing number of demand for spots on this train, and they're letting people come on. These are still from the British, have not been upgraded at all. And these poor people, they have no other choice but to buy the cheap ticket because that's all they can afford. They depend on these.
So it'd be nice if a little bit more attention went into maintaining and upgrading, at least making them feel like they're okay to ride this, right?
Lucknow's Charbagh railway station is well connected with all the major cities in India, such as Bangalore, Chennai, Kolkata, New Delhi, and Mumbai. Built in 1923, the station has 9 platforms that cater for over 250 trains that start from, terminate, and pass through this magnificent building. Charbagh railway station is an architectural masterpiece. Design inspirations are based on a chessboard. The palace-like building incorporates a mix of Rajput, Awadhi, and Mughal architecture. Lucknow is the capital city of the state of Uttar Pradesh. In the 18th and 19th centuries, it was famous for cultural and artistic achievements. Everything is well preserved. It's known as the city of many splendors. It is a city of Nawabs influenced by 18th and 19th century architecture by Muslim rulers.
It just so happens I've arrived in Lucknow during the holy month of Ramzan or Ramadan, a period of prayer and fasting during the 9th month of the Islamic calendar. What better place than Lucknow to explore the great shared heritage of Indian Islam? Every day for a month, the Muslims fast. They refrain from food and drink from sunrise to sunset, and then at night, their bazaars come to life with color and explosions.
I meet up with a young Muslim, Dr. Abdullah, who invites me to celebrate the breaking of the fast with his local community.
There will be azan from the mosque. After listening that, they are going to break their fast.
Every evening after sunset during the fasting month of Ramadan, Muslim communities from across the city get together to break their fast. The women sit separately to the men and can be seen decked up in beautiful designer salwar kameez as they meet their friends and relatives to break their fast. With prayers, the fast is broken by consuming dry fruits.
So hungry.
Starting with the date.
Starting with the date?
Dates. These are the dates. These are the energetic materials which we have to take in the body.
This has all the nutrients that your body needs.
After the breaking of the fast and more prayers, the feast begins.
There's more.
Each and everyone is enjoying the foodstuffs. Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, this is the requirement after a long duration.
How hard was it for you to fast today?
It was too hard.
Yeah?
Yeah, because without water, it's really a hard time because at the meantime, we have to perform each and every activity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes you think of God, huh?
Yeah.
Well, eat up.
And it's not just the communities that are celebrating on their own, it's the entire city. It's 9 o'clock at night. You never know it. It feels like the middle of the day. There's so many people out and about. This goes on till 4 in the morning every single day for an entire month. It's like they're loading up so they can fast again tomorrow and then do this all again tomorrow night. And then the next day, fast for an entire month. It's crazy. It's crazy. The whole idea here is to make everything beautiful but affordable. So all of these designer shoes, they're less than $1, right? Get the people spending, get the people buying. Everybody feels rich. It's a celebration.
As night unfolds, what excites all Muslims the most is to indulge themselves with culinary treats.
Yeah, now is my favorite part of the job. I get to eat this. This is beef pasanda, which is a traditional way of preparing these kebab-like things. They marinate them in all sorts of spices for 4 hours, and then they grill it. Smells good. So much flavor. Very tender. I love it. Very good. Thank you. What does Ramadan or Ramzan mean to a young Muslim like yourself here in Lucknow?
throughout the month, no eating, no water, no smoking, no sex. You're basically abstaining from all these so-called pleasures so that you can come closer to God. This is a state you can become pure. Like you cleanse your body, you cleanse your soul. And also you realize how somebody who's less fortunate, who might not get regular food, how they feel. It helps you build empathy with your fellow beings. And it is really difficult, especially on a hot summer day like this. It is quite exhausting, but if you have faith in God, it's a breeze. It's quite simple.
Well, I love the idea that everybody gets involved. This is really neat.
Lucknow is known for these magnificent ruins called the Residency. Built in 1667 by traders of the East Indian Company, it became home to the British Commissioner in 1857.
One of the most well-known uprisings that happened during the British colonization of India was a mutiny of the native troops known as sepoys. In 1857, the Sepoy Rebellion, which happened right here in this residency, caught the British completely off guard as they were blind to the unrest they were causing by their rapid imposition of direct British control over 2/3 of India's population. This rebellion was known as India's first war of independence.
I meet up with historian author Roshan Taki to find out more about the mutiny by the sepoys.
How did the sepoys even get involved with the East Indian Company here at the residency?
British East India Company started recruiting native citizens as troops in order to maintain their business and trading here. In 1748, British government also followed the suit, and eventually the Indian troops outnumbered the European troops 10-1.
10-1?
Yeah.
So the Indians could have taken over the English years before. 200 years they went until they actually revolted. So what led to the revolution? Why was there tension all of a sudden?
The one important reason was not proper compensation to the troops. They were not handsomely paid. And secondly, the new cartridges which were given to the troops here, there was propaganda that those cartridges were made up of pig and cow fat. Cow is very pious to the Hindus in India, and pig, Muslims don't like it. They had to bite with their teeth and then put it in the rifle.
So now...
This was unacceptable to both the communities.
Sure. So they're not only fighting for the other team, now they're being forced to go against a religion.
Yeah.
So they said, enough's enough, time to revolt.
Yeah. So all of a sudden, an eruption took place. A revolution started. A small incident could take place in a very large way.
Yeah.
Here in Lucknow, we are sitting. This is known as residency. The inmates of these residency were besieged by the Indian forces.
How long did this go on?
For about 80 days. In between these 80 days, more than 250 people killed here. Their aim was to finish those people who are living in residences and who are loyal to the East India Company. The British were very frightened, and they came with a large army and took over this residency and then freed all those inmates and took them with them to the safer places.
During the next 6 months, the mutiny was broken, and within the following year, British power was restored. However, the Sepoy Rebellion sent a message to the British that demanded to be heard. My Indian train journey continues from Lucknow to the capital of India, Delhi, where I get an insight into the workings of the British Raj. Ladies-only carriages did not come as standard for a railway system inherited from the British. In fact, they were only introduced widely in the 1990s in response to an increase in the number of women traveling on trains as they entered the workforce. This led to an increase in complaints, a phenomenon that became known as eve teasing, euphemism used in India for public harassment of women by men.
ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਕਿ ਜ਼ਬਰਦਸਤੀ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੈਂਟਸ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਆ ਆਪਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਗੇਟ ਤੇ ਦਰਵਾਜ਼ੇ ਤੇ ਖੜੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਧੱਕਾਸ਼ਾਹੀ ਕਰਕੇ ਮਤਲਬ ਕਿ ਆਪ ਅੰਦਰ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਆ ਔਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਖੜੇ ਆ ਤੇ ਛੇੜਛਾੜ ਕਰੂਗੇ ਅਗੜਮ ਬਾਈ ਦੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਹੱਥ ਲਗਾਓ ਜਾਂ ਇੱਧਰ ਕਰੋ ਇਹ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਪਰੇਸ਼ਾਨ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਇਹ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਵੱਧ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਘਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਹੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਕੋਈ ਹੈਲਪ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਗੀ ਲੇਡੀਜ਼ ਦੀ ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਸੇ ਡਿਪਾਰਟਮੈਂਟ ਵਿੱਚ ਚੱਲਦੇ ਆ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਦੀ ਸੇਫਟੀ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਦਾ 골ਡ ਚੋਰੀ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਕਿਸੇ ਦਾ ਪਰਸ ਚੋਰੀ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਮੋਬਾਈਲ ਚੋਰੀ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ
ਦੋ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਵਾਲੇ ਹੋਣੇ ਚਾਹੀਦੇ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਵਾਲੇ ਹੋਣ ਤੇ ਆਦਮੀ ਨੂੰ ਚੜ੍ਹਨ ਨਾ ਦੇਣ
ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੋਈ ਸੇਫ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੇ ਜੇ ਬੈਠੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਲੇਡੀਜ਼ ਅਸੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਇਦਾਂ ਬੈਠਦੇ ਵੀ ਚਲੋ ਲੇਡੀਜ਼ ਹੋਊਗੀਆਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਕੱਲੇ ਸਫ਼ਰ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਲੇਡੀਜ਼ ਹੋ ਗਈਆਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਫ਼ਰ ਚੰਗੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਕਰ ਲਵਾਂਗੇ
ਪਰ ਕੋਈ ਹਟਾਉਣ ਵਾਲਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੋਈ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਦੀ ਡਿਊਟੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੋਈ ਇਨਕੁਆਇਰੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਕੁਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ
India recently introduced 8 women-only trains in Delhi, Mumbai, Calcutta, and Chennai, aimed at providing safety and comfort for the growing numbers of working women. These lady specials have proven a big hit amongst their passengers. I suppose in a traditionally male-dominated society, the absence of men is probably pretty liberating, huh? Yeah, big time, huh?
On long-distance journeys, Indian trains have air-conditioned carriages and sleeper compartments, which on hot days are worth booking in advance. My journey to Delhi from Lucknow took around 9 hours.
And touchdown. Made it to Delhi. Look at that. Capital of India, one of the oldest civilizations in the world, anywhere. Pretty amazing. Can't wait to explore it. Not a bad ride. Comfy seats. Don't know how I would have made it without the air conditioning, because it is hot.
New Delhi railway station is the third busiest and one of the largest in India. It handles over 300 trains and over 500,000 passengers daily on its 16 platforms. Delhi's immense population of nearly 17 million is diverse, but dominantly Hindu. It is the largest commercial center in North India, and its historic association as the capital of India has influenced its culture. This has left many significant monuments, such as the Red Fort, a World Heritage Site.
Delhi is one of the longest-serving capitals and one of the oldest inhabited cities in the world. It's a city that's been built, then destroyed, then rebuilt several times. This is because invaders of the Indian subcontinent, once they've ransacked the place, they realize its strategic location, and then they rebuild it in their own special way.
The capital also hosts the residence of the president. The decision to build a residence in New Delhi for the British Viceroy was taken after it was decided in 1911 that the capital of India would be shifted from Calcutta to Delhi. It was constructed to affirm the permanence of British rule in India.
Few official head of state residential premises in the world can match the Rashtrapati Bhavan, the presidential palace, in terms of its size, its vastness, and its magnificence. Imagine someone coming up to you and saying, "Sir, your new home, all for you, comes with a job."
The buildings surrounding and associated with Viceroy House, which is now known as Rashtrapati Bhavan, were designed by Sir Edwin Lutyens, who is referred to as the greatest British architect of his era. Unlike the more traditional architects who came before him, Lutyens was both inspired by and incorporated various influences from local and traditional Indian architecture.
After India's independence, the British Viceroy buildings were transformed into the presidential residence. In 1950, Dr. Rajendra Prasad became the first president of India to occupy this building and to protect, defend, and preserve the Constitution of India.
In order to find out how Britain became rulers of such a vast country, I meet up with retired historian R.V. Smith.
And they had simply come as traders. They were not soldiers or administrators. They had come to trade and not to rule. Conditions were very chaotic in the country at that time. You can't trade if there's too much violence and trouble. You can't trade in these conditions. The British wanted a peaceful atmosphere. And because of that, they kept interfering in Indian affairs. At that time, you see, people anywhere liked order. And they saw that the British can bring about some order. And so nobody opposed them. The British, they found conditions ideal for them to expand, and they started expanding, and then eventually the British Raj became a reality.
At what point did the railways come into the picture?
Soon after the railways became popular in England, British thought of experimenting with introducing the railways in a big country like India, because you could take troops, send administrators faster to places, and also to bring better law and order and a better grip on local conditions, and made it easier for the British to rule it.
And ironically, the railways also worked against the English. It helped the independence of India.
Because freedom fighters were able to make use of the railways and to track the British in different places. But on the whole, it benefited India so much that after the British left, it was easier for the new government to expand on the lines that the British had laid down.
The partition of India in August 1947 split the British Indian Empire into the Islamic Republic of Pakistan and the Republic of India. Before independence, relations between Hindus and Muslims had been peaceful. However, after independence, violence erupted and is still present nearly 70 years later. In my next leg of the journey, I travel from Delhi to Amritsar in Punjab. Before partition, this historically important train route would have run all the way from India's commercial capital Bombay to the terminus in Peshawar, which nowadays falls in Pakistan. After partition, a border known as the Radcliffe Line was drawn right down the middle of the province of Punjab. The city of Amritsar remained in India, and Lahore fell into Pakistan.
On both sides, people scrambled to get to the right side of their new border, or were forced to leave from their homes from their formerly friendly neighbors. At least 10 million people fled north or south depending on their faith, and over 500,000 were killed in the massacre. On this very route, militants set upon trains full of refugees from both sides as thousands upon thousands of passengers were massacred.
I meet up with history professor Sukhdev Singh Sohal to find out more about why the mass-scale riots occurred.
The way British were trying to give this message that they are leaving, that also created fear. The British, once they leave the country, that was a message.
So before they left, they wanted to make sure they had a government system in order.
Especially the Muslims.
Yeah.
Muslims wanted that there must be clear in their minds who would be running the government. Then they decided that it would be better if the Muslims have their own country. And for this, Radcliffe was sent from England. He came here, and in fact, no one cooperated with him. This brief was given that you must divide, this way or that way. You must divide. Punjab became a hot place for this tension.
When I was a kid, when my grandmother told me that what happened back then, how her family was living in Pakistan still when it got partitioned, and how they had to run for their lives, because the country town that wasn't far away from them, 10,000 people in one night got slaughtered.
Oh my gosh.
My grandmother, she told that she had witnessed a few girls getting raped and young children getting killed.
ਜਦੋਂ ਇਹ ਟ੍ਰੇਨ ਭਰ ਕੇ ਲਾਹੌਰ ਵੱਲ ਗਈ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਵੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਹਿੰਦੂ ਭਰਾ ਸੀ ਸਾਰੇ ਮੁਸਲਮਾਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਵੜ ਦਿੱਤੇ। ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪਿੰਡਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਮੁਸਲਮਾਨ ਉਹ ਹਿੰਦੂਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਰਨ ਲੱਗੇ ਤੇ ਹਿੰਦੂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਿੱਖ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸੀ ਉਹ ਮੁਸਲਮਾਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਰਨ ਲੱਗੇ।
Radcliffe realized at that time that he was doing something unnatural.
Right.
He is dividing cities, he is dividing rivers, he is dividing communities. Once that line was drawn on a map, no one knew where is the line. No one knew.
Just mass confusion.
Yeah, 5 to 10 kilometers across this Radcliffe line, everywhere there was violence.
So this is it, Amritsar. the end of the line. Prior to partition, this would go all the way on to Lahore in Pakistan. It's hard to believe that it's from this point, the next 15 miles, where all the massacres happened.
Amritsar is the capital city of Punjab and is located in the northwest region of India. At the time of independence, the dividing line placed Amritsar, the spiritual home of the Sikhs, within the borders of the new India. Its population is made up of Sikhs and Hindus, where Sikhs are the majority, making up 60% of the community. Sikhism, which was born out of Hinduism, began with the emergence of Guru Nanak as the religious leader and social reformer during the 15th century in Punjab. One inciting incident during the British rule, which is remembered by most Sikhs, is the Amritsar massacre, also known as the Jallianwala Bagh massacre.
This is Jallianwala Bagh Memorial Park. What happened here was on April 13, 1919, the whole place was packed with local farmers celebrating the new harvest, or Baisakhi. There was also a small group of demonstrators non-violently protesting the arrest of two of their leaders by the British. Suddenly, General Reginald Dyer brought in 50 Gurkhas and ordered open fire on everybody until the ammunition ran out.
बैसाखी के दिन यहाँ सभा चल रही थी, लोग बैठे हुए थे। हमारे फादर यहाँ आए, देखा क्या माहौल चल रहा है, कोई बैठ के 5 बजे अंग्रेज लोग आके ऊपर चढ़ा, उन्हें देखा माहौल कैसा चल रहा है, वो कोई चेतावनी नहीं दी, सीधा फायरिंग चालू कर दी। हमारे फादर को गोली लगा,
1,650 rounds had been fired, a number derived by counting empty cartridge cases picked up by the troops. The casualty number estimated by the Indian National Congress was around 1,500, with approximately 1,000 dead.
You can still see actual bullet holes highlighted here in the wall. Many historians agree there were 2 events that led to the end of the British rule in India. This clearly was one of them.
The other event being the Sepoys' Mutiny of 1857.
I can't help but think every raindrop is a metaphor for a bullet that happened here, wiped out the park. Just like that, thousands of people gone.
Amritsar is also known for its Golden Temple and is the first stop for most visitors that come here. Established in the 16th century by Guru Arjan Dev V, this enormous pool surrounds a magnificent 2-story marble structure in the center, which has become a source of inspiration to the community and a place of pilgrimage.
Every day, thousands of devotees visit this place, and they say by dipping themselves in the pool here, they gain immortality as well as a spiritual purification.
The Golden Temple today is still widely held as the most exalted of all Sikh shrines. Amritsar is located near the border with Pakistan and not far from the foothills of the mighty Himalayan mountain range. The British railway builders didn't just build railways to further the empire, they also built them to escape the heat of India. Across the country, 5 small narrow-gauge railways were built to transport people from the heat of the plains up into the cool mountains. They were known as hill stations. The Kangra Valley is not one place in particular. It happens to be the entire region that lies between the range of Himalayas to the north and the last strangling foothills to the south.
I'm headed to the town of Jogindagar on this narrow gauge train, being the youngest of the 5 mountain railways of British India. Built by the British in 1925, it turned into a passenger service train in 1929, and it's played a big part in the economy of this region ever since. All right, this looks good.
For my final train journey, I'm catching one of the mountain railways of British India in the sub-Himalayan region from Kangra to Jogindarnagar in Himachal Pradesh.
It's so casual here. It's like, do what you want. This is your train. Reminds me of being on a bus at school.
The British laid down 103 miles of this railway line, linking all important railway and religious towns of Kangra. The journey gives the traveler a chance to gaze as long as he likes at lush green fields and stunning mountain range panoramas, without being swung round every few minutes on a narrow arc.
It's interesting. We're on a mountain range that curves a lot, and yet somehow on the train, we're not curving that much. It feels like a straight route, and it has to really for the track to, maintain the train to ride. It's pretty amazing, actually.
As I'm in India during the monsoon season, the weather can change drastically any time.
I'm actually really enjoying this ride. It's sweet, quite charming with all these families on board. Mostly migrant workers traveling to find more work. It's a little concerning though. Kangra Valley Railways is not in a good shape. The Indian railways have been neglecting them for the last 70 years and have chosen not to convert the 100-mile narrow gauge tracks into wider gauge. And engines need repair, carriages need repair, there's a leak right here. And a lot of these parts aren't even being made anymore. So if anything does happen, it's going to be a shame because that could be the end of all this.
The Himalayan range is far-reaching, spanning thousands of miles, and holds within it an exceptionally diverse ecology. If you want a gentle, peaceful, and memorable experience of the Himalayas, then Himachal Pradesh is the perfect setting. Here, some of the most enchanting and scenic views embrace the Kangra Valley.
Come up here into the Himalayas, where it's nice and cool and wet and lush. Beat the Indian summers. It is beautiful. I cannot blame them. It's impossible to imagine this country without its railway system. Trains aren't just a means of transportation here. They're a way of life. True, the British built these tracks, but it's the Indians who maximized and utilized their full potential. They were able to unify their entire vast country full of different regions and then stabilize themselves, all with the help of their inherited railway system. India's railways are tough, but the question is, are they tough enough for the demands of the ever-increasing population? Only time knows the answer to that.